Released in April of 1962, Spacewar was one of the first examples of pushing an electronic device's capabilities. Developed by a group of MIT students, but mainly Steve Russell, Martin Greets, and Wayne Wheaton, the game was designed as a technical demonstration for the newly released Digital Equipment Corporation, DEC, PDP-1 mini-computer. The PDP-1 was a pioneering machine that, unlike its predecessors, was built with user interaction in mind. It featured a Type 30 CRT vector display, which allowed for real-time plotting of points, but because the hardware lacked a frame buffer or bitmap memory, so the screen did not refresh in the modern sense. Instead, the program had to constantly redraw the positions of stars, ships, and torpedoes. This created a unique aesthetic where images would slowly fade unless repainted, resulting in the iconic trails seen in long exposure photos of the game. To manage limited CPU cycles, later contributors like Peter Sampson and Monty Peronas optimized the code extensively. For example, they replaced solid line drawings of the star with dotted lines to reduce the processing load, which allowed for the addition of a second star and more complex gravitational calculations. The gameplay mechanics for Spacewar was fairly advanced for the time and hardware. The game was revolutionary for incorporating a central star with a gravity well, forcing players to manage fuel and trajectory while avoiding the star's pull. There was a high-risk, high-reward escape mechanic that was included, allowing players to jump to a random location on the screen. This was a direct precursor to modern randomized game elements. At some point, the standard console switches proved too cumbersome. Players Alan Kotok and Bob Saunders built the first dedicated video game controllers, prototypical wired control boxes featuring levers and buttons. The development process helped to establish the open-source mentality. Since Steve Russell made the code available to others, programmers at different research labs began modifying, patching, and improving it. This collaborative evolution is considered the birth of hacker culture and a precursor to modern open-source software development. Additionally, Spacewar inspired Nolan Bushnell, founder of Atari. His first commercial attempt, Computer Space, released in 1971, and later hits like Asteroids and Lunar Lander, were all direct descendants of the mechanics and themes established in Spacewar. The game was eventually used a benchmark tool for the PDP-1. If a newly assembled mini-computer could run the game correctly, the factory engineers considered the system fully functional. For more tech-based facts about the gaming industry, be sure to like, share, and subscribe.